Hey, good morning, class, and welcome back to Lifespan Development. Welcome to week 6 of our course. I'm recording this on a Friday morning, right before noon. It's a beautiful fall morning. I've avoided all of the Black Friday sales and all that junk. So, maybe you're out shopping right now. Maybe you already did your shopping yesterday because nothing closes anymore apparently. Anyways, I actually did something a little different for Thanksgiving. This year I went with my dad. We went down to Dallas to see the Cowboys play yesterday on Thanksgiving Day, and that was pretty cool. I have a friend who came over from London to see his favorite team play, so we met him down in London and met him in Dallas, sorry, and then watched the Cowboys play and drove home, got kind of late, not late, but later last night, and had a really good time. Got to do all my stuff, Thanksgiving beforehand, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, really neat, a lot of fun. I'm not a Cowboys fan by any means, but I just thought it was a lot of fun to be there and see a pro game. So anyways, I hope everyone's doing great. Hope you had a chance to enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Unfortunately, if you're seeing this video, maybe that means it's probably over or really close to being over. So good news is, though, just a few weeks from now, there'll be an even longer break. So hang in there. Only got a few more weeks left and we'll be smooth sailing. So let's jump into week 6 of our course. Let's jump back into it. So as you should know, the case study writing assignment is actually due Monday evening. So if you haven't turned yours in, please make sure you get yours by Monday evening at 11:59 p.m. in order to obtain full credit on that assignment. So I think I've got a couple of them so far, but keep them coming. I'll continue to grade them. I'll start grading them probably Monday, to be honest. I got family in town right now, so probably won't do a whole lot of grading as far as like the formal papers go. But let's go ahead and get those turned in, and I'll start grading them on Monday. For this week, I'd like for you to, we have another 3 chapters to read. It's a lot of reading, but my recommendation is break it up, read 1 chapter a day, and it's not so daunting. So chapter 12 is socio-emotional development in adolescence. Again, we're staying in the period of adolescence. A lot of change going on. This is the time where, according to Erik Erikson, this is a huge time of identity development. So this is where people oftentimes are learning, becoming the person they want to be. They're thinking about themselves as an individual. They're developing identity goals. Maybe they've established an identity, maybe they haven't. So there's a lot of different forks in the road, so to speak. This is the time where maybe religious and spiritual development might be taking place. A lot of times that's influenced by the parents, but and not always the case. But so that might be part of a person's identity at this point, or may not be. Families, the role of family is changing. The role of peers are changing. There's a lot of maybe overstating about how teens just hate their parents and only like their friends. But it's really interesting that peers and family members, research shows that there's just a lot more similarity, I think, than we would like to think in our teenage years. A lot of times teens pick out friends that mimic their family members, if there's a good relationship there, that is. So you're also going to read a little bit about culture and then the role of and how that's involved in adolescent development. You're also going to look at specific problems that are found in adolescence that are more common in adolescence. As children enter those teenage years, those can involve dating, adolescent problems. Forming new relationships, whether that's romantic and platonic relationships. The whole school culture, navigating the school culture can be a problem, but we're going to look at more serious problems like juvenile delinquency, depression and suicide amongst adolescents and teens, and how these problems are sort of related. So that's the focus for chapter 12. In chapter 13, we are going to, switch gears and go into adulthood. We're now going to look at physical and cognitive development in early adulthood. Early adulthood is kind of this period. Some texts refer to it as emerging adulthood, where you're an adult, obviously by age. You're an adult. You've developed physically, but maybe you haven't taken on full adult responsibilities, like say having children and starting a family and getting married and things, and buying a house. A lot of people are foregoing those things until they get older. They're foregoing those things to pursue college degrees, for example, or maybe just traveling or whatever. This is an interesting period of development. So we're looking at a transition from adolescence to adulthood, and this is a very new developmental stage. And so we're going to look at the role of physical development. Again, this is kind of the end of puberty. The brain is still developing, but puberty, the body is fully developed. We're going to look at the role that sexuality plays, more cognitive development, and then this is the point. Identity formation, according to Erickson, should be more or less done. That's debatable. I think it's very debatable, but there's also a big focus here on career and work, and a lot of that's tied to identity. Your career, your job is kind of, some people, when you ask them, tell me about yourself, or who are you? They're going to tell their career, their aspirations, or their job first and foremost. So that's a really big, important part of identity. So that the discussion of identity is sort of ongoing. Then we're going to look at chapter 14, which is socio-emotional development during the same period of time, early adulthood. And looking at, this is a point where people are forming close bonds, primarily romantic bonds, and starting families in some cases. I know I just said some people are foregoing that thing, but we also see people are at this point probably engaging in a lot of either serial monogamous relationships that could potentially lead to something like marriage. Doesn't always have to be that way. Some people kind of just jump around from serial monogamous relationship to another and without necessarily concerns about marriage at this point, but you can start to see maybe the conversations are starting to take place. So there's a big emphasis on attraction, love, and close relationships talked about in this chapter. Lifestyle changes for lifestyles for adults, and the role that marriage and family plays. Again, some people are just completely foregoing that early on in their adulthood and waiting till later. That's a very common trend amongst adults, at least in the United States. Depending on, I think that really depends also regionally and culturally where you go. I mean, I think it's much more common in urban areas probably to see early adults foregoing marriage and children, but maybe when you get into rural America, that's maybe not the case. So that there's a cultural factor to that as well. So anyways, you're going to read chapters 12, 13, and 14. I'm going to be opening up exam number 3 this week. Exam number 3 will cover chapters 9 through 12. So once you finish chapter 12, you're ready to go. You're ready to read the next, you're ready to take the next exam. Same format as usual, 70 multiple choice questions. It's pretty even between the chapters. Exam number 3 will be open until the 3rd of December. So you have, about 10 days as of now. I haven't opened it yet, but I will open it tomorrow morning. By the time you read this or hear this, it'll be open. So don't worry. But yeah. And then also there will be a discussion post this week. So you got a lot going on this week. I know it's a lot, but if you're good at time management, this is okay. You'll be okay. So this week I want you to turn in your case study assignment if you haven't done so. Go ahead and read chapters 12 through 14. You do have a discussion post. I think I'll keep the discussion probably to either chapter 13 or 14. I haven't posted it yet, but I will. And then exam 3 is open, and you have until the 3rd to take it. So a lot going on this week, but please let me know if you have any questions, any concerns. I'm here for you. But my advice is just take it one day at a time. Read one chapter a day. Let your brain digest it, and then move on. But yeah, if you're good at time management, this week will be very easy. So please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Otherwise, I'll see you all next week. All right, take care.